Hey guys, oh, I'm with my hands today. I'm not always like this. It's at the end of Spoken Label, the amazing Amanda Crundall. Now, Amanda's wondering, I'm talking with my hands a lot today, and I'm not normally like this, so it's just, I'm tired, so. But anyway, oh, wait, oh, she's copying me now. Right, straight over to Amanda. I'm not even going to tell you how many poems she's going to do today. Should we keep making people wait, Amanda, and keep them in
Yeah,
suspense?
I think so. Yeah, keep it a mystery.
Over to you then for your first poem.
Okay, thanks, Andy. So the first poem that I'm going to read out is Salty Tears. So this is in the first section of my book, Heart on Her Sleeve. Sat in the park the morning after the pack of lies. Deceit came calling, negativity back. Kids calling, playing in the background. I look at the world in front and I wonder what my part is these days. Observations of others. Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they content? Is anyone content? Sat in the park, subtle afternoon sun soothing my soul. Salty tears flow hidden beneath my shades, dripping down. A quick dab trying to wipe the evidence away from the children. Sat in the park, mental effort of keeping calm with forced upturned smile. The children exhausting me. Salty tears uncontrollable, streaming. Parents, grandparents look at me and I lay down my head on my knees, hiding my face. My son sits by me. I've let him down. He shouldn't see this. He asks, "Who's hurt you, Mummy?" Is it to do with him again? Silence. 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 And I wipe my tears and I say, "I'm sorry. The world hurts sometimes, son." Sat in the park, feeling alone, confidence attacked, feeling like a failure to my children, to my friends and family, and to myself. Again and again and again. Sat in the park, wondering whether my time has come to leave this painful world, but how much pain that will cause my children. Trapped, 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 feeling like every last fragment of me has been shattered, now blowing across the park like the breeze, like my ashes that have arrived prematurely.
That's beautiful.
So the
Really,
next,
really beautiful point. Can we talk? Do you mind if we ask you a couple of quick questions about that?
yeah, that's absolutely
Yeah,
fine.
you're going to get used to that, mate. I'm not going to let you jump straight in. I'm not like I'm cruel.
I
Right?
can't get away with that.
No, not with me around. Now, I've got just a few technical points I'm curious about with this because when you wrote this poem originally, was the repetition designed or did it just come in naturally?
It just happens naturally, and I do it from time to time with some of my poems. It's just, I was sat in the park, and this, this is where this came from, and that the pausing, the feeling trapped, the silence going over again and again in my mind was just, it's just exactly what it is. It's a repetition that just seems to be there,
Yeah, no,
and
it
seems to
seemed that way with
feel
it.
deep, powerful sort of repetition, I suppose. Really, I'm
Yeah, I
not an
think
academic poet, it's just how it came. That's
yeah.
how it came.
Yeah, no, great. I love the emotion in that poem in particular, and I think the repetition works really well. Because sometimes you can overdo it. I think
Yes,
you've got it right there with that. And what this is what an interesting point I spotted on this, and it's obviously you said I think you answered your own question with this. I love the fact where you had it like silence, 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 and then like later on the piece you were going about again and again and again, when trapped and each one of them is done a different way on the poem and on the layout way it's laid out, and it gives different emotions on it. So no, fantastic. Anyway, I'm not going to make you more comfortable talking about deeply personal poems because I can see that it is. Less of me, more of you. Back to you for number 2.
Okay, thanks, Andy. Right, so the next one is called Anxiety Rising. So, as I said earlier, I talk very much and write very much about thoughts and feelings, and some of that is more darkness, some of that is more triggered through anxiety. So this is about anxiety. Anxiety rising like a volcanic eruption, spewing out larval emotion, streaming everything it touches. The earthly core revolting as it simmers away. First quietly, then bubbling, until its orgasmic explosion ejaculating over everything in sight. From controlled to uncontrolled, from submissive to virile, from poetic to destructive, it rains its terror on that recovering mind. The calm then returns, at first wavering, dipping in and out, the anxiety pulling, coming again, then no more, no more. There you go.
Brilliant. Sorry about that. Now, people I guessed I had. I mean, I was trying to get rid of the unpause button, and it wouldn't move. that was not poetic effect.
I've got another verse.
No, it just wasn't moving. I thought, oh, I know, but I promise to not swear too much because I turned this podcast into an 18. But it was okay, right? So now
we'll let you off with that.
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you've put your credit in this one. So obviously, it dates back to May last year. So it's one of your fairly new older poems, I suppose now, really, isn't it? So
yeah, and it came from just feeling like my mind was bubbling over with so many, stresses and strains from different paths of life. Just feeling that it almost felt like something was going to erupt inside me, which is why I kind of got the picture of a volcano erupting in my mind at the time. So yeah just very much feeling so stressed.
Feels like it was like it's an emotional poem. Was it a poem that was wrote at night time, this one? It feels like a nighttime poem to me for some reason. I couldn't have seen you writing this one on a busy train, that's for sure with it.
No, I think this was definitely an evening. Kids are in bed, reflecting on the day and thinking, crikey, what am I going to do with these feelings inside? Let's get them on paper.
Yeah, no, that's fair play. It's got that sort of rush in it. I could probably guess you wrote this fairly quickly as well. At least the first draft, it feels like it.
Yeah. To be honest, again, I'm not absolutely, I'm no creative writing expert or academic poet. But what comes out, what comes out, and I'll reread and I might edit a little bit, but a lot of it's just completely raw.
Yeah, it's a raw poem that. Yeah, it feels there's an intenseness in it, but I think it's different to the first poem actually. They're, again, just as good in its own way. Okay, let's shut up now. Back to you with poem number 3.
Thank you. So this one, let me find it. I'm just getting this one from my book actually. Oh, here we go. Right, okay. So this one's called Detached. Detached. Hovering above surroundings, numb, shut down, feeling like a ghost floating above my own grave. Attached, hanging on with a life less complex, self-doubt taking prisoners of war, shutting down in protection mode. Mind butchered on the chilly ping of an email, emotions wrung out in a spinner of disillusionment on a cycle that never ends. Aghast at the horror that unfolds. Detached, hovering above surroundings, frozen, annihilation of the soul, feels so normal, or is that just another hole? Detached forever, or freedom from that tormented mind to live like is deserved for so many?
Brilliant stuff. Now, I'm going to show you now. I'm going to embarrass Amanda endlessly here as well. Whenever we agree to do spoken label, I like to try and get an idea what the poet's going to read. And they will send me poems across. Great. This one wasn't in the list she sent across to me. So I had heard this one before.
Oh, I thought I'd sent you that one.
Nope.
Oh, you know, I like the element of surprise, Andy. You know, it's good.
You did with that. So, right, well, I'm going to have to just do the office question. I thought it was brilliant. It was probably the shortest out of the poems. The line lengths are quite short on it. But tell us about that poem, then.
Yeah, so just that dark place, feeling as we sometimes can be in that mindset where we feel really detached from the rest of the world, from our feelings, from trying to somehow protect your own mind and soul from being hurt and being damaged anymore. But yeah, a representation of just being completely detached. So yeah. quite a dark one.
I think it was probably the darkest out of the three that I've heard so far, actually. So
yes,
I'll be surprised.
I'll cheer up now.
If you're going to do a comedy piece next, I will be surprised. Right, anyway.
I'm no comedian, I'm afraid.
You're like me.
I am going to move to part 2 of my book and do Sweet Dreams. If you just bear with me, I'm faffing around with my papers a bit. I'm not going to lie.
That's fine. No problem.
Right. So Sweet Dreams. So parental poem, mummy poem. Once you're a mummy, life changes forever. Those responsibilities monumentally rise. Your level of protectiveness skyrockets. Your babies, your new love, your maternal force gigantic. Wherever you go, anticipation is key. Loving, accepting, empathizing, guiding, empowering, and building strength is our aim. The end of the night, the end of a day draws close. The babes are settled. They are sleeping. That one last check, that one last sniff of their hair, that one last look of total admiration of our precious gems. Sleeping soundly, looking so peaceful, you could just stay and watch all night long. Every night the same, but every day more special than the last. Sweet dreams, babies. You are my everything.
Gorgeous, that. It's a really nice change in gears, that one, straight away. So, and it's got kind of like a lullaby sort of feel to that, because I think when you do some poems as well, there's a change in voice in it, where you say you're doing more personal poems, you're darker ones. That's contrast to that, because that's like that's done as like a whisper almost.
Yeah, it's that deep mummy feeling is how I describe it, and it's just it's that moment when you go in and you do your final little check and they're sleeping soundly, and you're just looking, and it's just the most wonderful feeling, and just you just feel so grateful.
People who see now, see me doing this, it's a hugging poem like that. You're going to hug your children like that, yeah. No, definitely. Absolute beautiful. Right. Well, now you've completely thrown me off a track, obviously, with sneaking in a poem. I don't know it. So that makes it now, that's your 5th poem. So how many did you have planned there today then? We had 6 originally, whether it's now 7.
So we've done 4. No, we've done 4. We've done 4.
My fault, yeah. Shit for brains. Oh, well, that's the
I'm looking at my little hit list. So I've got 2 left on here. If we have time for two more, I can just do
Go
one
for
more.
it. No, go for both.
Right.
Go for both. Yeah. Go for
Okay, so I'm going to do Get Me Off This Railroad Life. So just bear with me a moment. So yeah, just very much reflecting on society, this one, Andy. Get me off this railroad life, a kaleidoscope of chaos, of blinkered thinkers and some rotten stinkers. This life is derailed. The train has departed. Is it too late? No, let's start a new rail where people are loved and people are cherished, not used, abused, and misused to suit their muse. An inclusive life of equality and facts, not being marshmallowed into wearing ridiculous hats. Not a jester, not a clown or a puppet on a string. Let there be no master who tightly pulls those strings. Do not be choked, but breathe deeply, my friend. Stay calm, ride the storm. It's societal norms we're rejecting.
Here completely.
There you go.
Yeah, it's I think
My
you've got
little rant. That's
yeah.
me ranty one, Andy.
Yeah. When you're doing that one on stage, geez, I'd be screaming at people. I think I would, and you wouldn't be like nicey mumsy there, would you?
No, that's not like a mumsy. You know, no, that's a bit of a dig at the world.
Yeah.
So my last one's a lovely little story behind it. Well, I think so anyway. Am I blowing my own trumpet? Maybe I am.
You're a poet. You've got to blow your own trumpet. Right?
Yeah, that's it. So it's called I Want to Start a Rebellion. And my lovely son, Zach, came home from school one day and came into the kitchen and went, Mum, I want to start a rebellion. And he'd had a really tough day at school, and Zach certainly doesn't have a problem with me sharing this information, but my son has autism, so finds life and school life in particular really challenging. And you know, it's not always easy for him. And he just come home when he was 8, so nearly a couple of years ago, and said, "Oh God, can we start a rebellion, Mum?" And I went, "Do you know what? That's a brilliant line, name for a poem, Zach. And will you write it? And I'll let you know if it's any good, Mum." So I went up in the kitchen, put a few words on paper, and he ticked it off. It does have a swear word in it. Am I allowed to use a swear word, Andy, on the podcast?
I've sworn already, so yeah.
Oh, good. All right. So anyway, so this is the adult version of I Want to Start a Rebellion that was inspired by my son. I want to start a rebellion where the rebels rebel freely with their own minds so that everyone can tell. I want to start a rebellion, whatever age, to speak and tell of the untruths and truths of those misleading mouths. I want to start a rebellion who stands up for others, of the rules and the regulations that constrict and restrict people's life. I want to start a rebellion because no one's fucking hearing the far cries of society in the need for active listening. I want to start a rebellion because I don't want this for my kids. My kids want a rebellion, and we're ready for this fight.
Here.
There you
Now,
go.
I've got to ask you a question. That's obviously we need to make people aware. So I know there is a naughty word in that poem. On the manuscript you sent it. No, it doesn't bother me. I've heard worse, and I probably wrote worse, right? More abusive stuff. But no, on the book itself, then, because obviously the manuscript you sent to me is you bleeped out the actual naughty word. Just so people that aren't offended, make sure they're not offended. Is that the case in the book?
No, it's in the book. It's not censored.
That's fair enough.
It does have an age category on the back. That was my little bit of an anxiety that I discussed with the publisher, because obviously I wouldn't want a young child picking up this book and reading it, because obviously it's a lot of sensitive information in there, and feelings, and a lot of darkness. So yeah, it's certainly a more adult audience, shall we say. But no, it's not censored.
Good. That's needed clarifying, people. Good. I'm firmly with no censorship, so no, brilliant stuff. I've really enjoyed that, and I thought, yeah, you've raised a very, very valid point there, because what's going to happen to our children in the next 20, 30 years?
Terrifying.
Yeah,
Terrifying to
I've
me.
seen somebody say this morning on the press that their children aren't expecting to live past 30, and of course, what's going on in this world in the fall. That's just, it says it all, doesn't it, really? So it's, we've got to fight.
It
You have to
does,
fight.
and what is happening? The world has, in my opinion, gone a little bit mad.
Yeah,
Gone a lot mad, and all this reliance on technology and not using our brains, it's just not good.
No, definitely not.
I don't want a world where children don't even know what cash is. They don't know, the meaning of going to the shop and buying a bag of sweets with, some coppers to work out how much they need. The value of all of this is so important to our children, and it's frighteningly being pulled away.
Yeah, everything is, and it's ways I'm not comfortable or particularly happy with, and I agree with you. So I know that I've started off your next poem now. Speak to your son, get part 2 of that route. Unintentional definitely sequel. No, seriously. I want to thank you today, Amanda. I've really enjoyed this. It's been
I've really
pleasure.
enjoyed being on the podcast, Andy, and thanks for inviting me on. It's been super.
Yeah. Keep in touch, and I would love to have you on again. Maybe next time with Amy as well. We could have a free.
Oh, that would be lovely. Yeah,
I have done these before, definitely. So, but I'll tell you about that.
Yeah,
in a minute.
So, God help you.
Yeah. I'll tell you about the most complicated one I've had in a minute. But I've had complicated podcasts, but that's off mic. So, thank you again today, Amanda.
Oh, thanks, Andy.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a pleasure as always. So, as Don Callis over at AEW Wrestling says, stay safe and stay over. And we'll see you all next